Do we look at the things that God requires of us in the Bible and think, some of these things are just impossible to do? Which one of the commands that God has given us do we struggle with the most? Do we think that we will ever be able to fulfill what God requires of us? Or does it feel like God has given us a basket to carry water? It would be very cruel for someone to ask us to do something that they know we are unable to do. That would be like asking someone who we know is unable to see to describe the color of the flowers in the garden. So what are we saying? Either we believe that the things God calls us to do are possible, or we think that God is cruel and setting us up for failure. 2 Peter 1 verse 3 says this: His divine power has given us everything we need for a godly life through our knowledge of Him who called us by His own glory and goodness. Friends, God has already given us every single thing that we need to enable us to live the life that He has called us to abide by the commands that He has given us, and to walk in the authority and power that He has endowed us with. When He downloaded His Holy Spirit into us, we became enabled and empowered. So whatever God requires of us, whether it is to have self-control, whether it is to be patient with one another, to forgive one another, or even to die for one another, or any of the myriad of things that He requires us to be and do for one another, we can do them. The reason we often find it difficult to do any of them is because we are trying to do them in our own strength, while listening to a world that is screaming at us that we can't do it. But it is not possible to do them by ourselves. We can only accomplish them through the enabling power of the Holy Spirit that God has put inside us. When we stop striving to do things by ourselves in our own strength and fully depend on the power of the Holy Spirit to work in us and through us, we will no longer think that what God has called us to is impossible, but rather everything about how we live our lives will scream, yes, we can. God bless you.